Hi, and welcome to my channel. For those of you new, these videos will be a mixture of tracking my journey and development towards financial freedom, about basic personal financial products, and also about improving people's financial well-being. My name's Dave and I work in financial services, and it amazes me the number of people I speak to on a day-to-day through my employment who do not understand the basics of personal finance because we don't teach the subject in schools, or in the UK we think the subject matter is taboo to talk about. Remember, if you like the videos in this channel, press the like button, subscribe to this channel so it can grow and reach a wider audience. Now let's get on to this week's video. So let's get into this week's video. This week's video is about avoiding basic financial habits, which will hopefully improve your sense and financial well-being and financial wellness, and will also improve your financial situation, thereby creating a better financial position for yourselves, and will hopefully speed up your process towards a greater level of financial security, and also hastily quicken up your journey towards financial freedom or whatever financial goals you have. There are going to be 4 topics this week, so let's dive into the first one, which is... Now, firstly, there is what we will call good debt and bad debt. So good debt could be what we call a mortgage. You obviously need somewhere to live. Most people cannot afford to buy their houses outright, so they have a mortgage. So obviously a mortgage is what we call a good debt. Specifically, if you are paying, say, in the region of 2%, you're a fixed deal, it's safe, it's secure, it's guaranteed. You can budget for what payments you are making. And ultimately, the longer you live in the house, the more the value will go up. But housing aren't seen investments, they are seen as somewhere essential for somewhere to live. But a portion of your mortgage, shall we say, it may well be you are on a standard variable rate, paying 4 or 5%. That may be considered what we call bad debt. Okay, if that scenario is relating to yourself, is it possible you could refinance your mortgage, get it to a better deal, put yourself in a better financial position, and save yourself some money? Okay, so as I said, a mortgage is consistently seen as a good debt because we're paying a relatively low interest rate due to the current market conditions. Bad debt may be something on a loan or a car or refinancing, so you may well be paying bank loans of 5% to 10%, which may well be considered bad debt. Okay, is it necessary for you to have that debt? Or in extreme scenarios, what about credit card debt? My own personal credit card charging an interest rate of 15.9%. Now, credit cards can be useful. They can be very beneficial towards someone's finances moving forwards. I use a credit card. Credit cards can be good, but as long as they are paid off every month, then there's no fees and no charges. Okay, I use credit cards for my shopping, for major purchases, and for petrol, but it's always paid off at the end of the month. What if you don't have any credit cards clear of debt, and you're paying the minimum amount of 5%? It may well be you're in a vicious circle. As soon as you are making payments, it may not be covering the debts, or then debts increasing. Or do you have a time frame to clear them debts? Imagine if you had no credit card debts. What would you do with that money? Could you use it towards savings? Could you use it toward a specific purpose? A holiday, a wedding, a newer car? Could that money be working better for you? Or extreme scenario, you may have a mortgage on a buy-to-let property. Again, may well be considered as good debt, but it's done for a reason. It may well be you have a tenant, the tenant is paying you rent, and that rent will cover your mortgage, will cover any expenses if that property is fully let. So there are 2 types of debt, good debt and bad debt. But imagine what your finances would be much like in a better position if you did have no interest payments. What would you do with that money? Could you use that money towards creating a better financial position for yourself in the future? Now let's get on to step number 2. Consumerism. Yes, we do live in a Western society where everybody wants the latest things. Okay, whatever time we put the television on, we are always bombarded by adverts, whether that's terrestrial telly, Netflix, Sky. Every time it breaks on the television, say, adverts for cars, the latest phones, holidays, sofas, smart TVs. Do we need to buy all them products? Now, it is in companies' interest to get people to buy the latest products because they need to make money. But do you need to get the latest products? Okay, do you need to do that for your fun and lifestyle, or do you need that because it's just a vicious cycle? We need to get the latest products. We need to improve our situation moving forwards. Highly unlikely. Okay. What if you didn't buy them latest products? What if you saved that money? What if you did delayed gratification? You did get the products, but not every year. What about if you did it every few years? Things do last, or things could get repairs. We do not need to go and buy the latest products just because they are out on the market. As the title says, keeping up with the Joneses. A statement that originates from America, with keeping up with people who had well-to-do products, and obviously their friends and their family and relatives seeing them as some kind of figurehead, and they wanted to keep up with them because they had the latest products. Do you fit into that character? Okay. If you go to any workplace, probably 80-90% of all cars within that workplace car park are probably owned on lease, finance, etc. Okay. People buy things with money they can't afford. It may well be to impress people they don't know. Okay. Do you fit that characteristics? What about your neighbours? Do you have to get the latest cars to keep up with your neighbours in your street? Do you have to make the latest home improvements to keep up with neighbours in your street, etc.? Okay. Or what about the society we live in? Do you have to get the latest model of the latest iPhone every year, every time a new product comes out, just to keep up with your friends, your family, or your peers? Or what about the latest fashion, the latest shoes, the latest trainers? I know from having teenage children, similar to when they were younger, they wanted to get the latest pair of shoes because their friends had them. They fit in with them. Do you fit in the same category? Or what about holidays? Do you need 3 or 4 holidays a year to keep up with people on Instagram, etc., who boast or brag about holidays? Do you have to fit in that category? Okay. Ultimately, okay, live within your means. Afford what you can buy by all means, but do it with money you have or money you have saved. Do not go into debt to buy the latest things you cannot afford to press people you do not know just because a nice car looks good on your driveway or a nice suntan looks good for the next few weeks. Okay, so ask yourself before you need to buy the latest products, do you really need that product? Could you delay it for 6 months? Could you delay it for 12 months? Does your car need replacing every 2 to 3 years for the latest model? Highly unlikely. Okay, is that car costing you money? If you do upgrade your car, is it costing you more money? Is it money you've got that can afford on a new car? So ask yourself them questions. Do you really need them latest purchases just to keep up with your peers so you feel like you may pressure sit in or fit into that category? Finally, the last point of note, fear of missing out. Now, great, you are investing, okay? Good luck with that journey moving forward. But what are you investing in and why are you investing? Are you investing in the latest fad or bubble, such as Bitcoin? Whatever you read in the press, good news or bad news, Bitcoin seems to be the latest fad, up very erratically, some great returns, okay, against stocks and shares, against building societies, etc. But if you look at any chart for the Bitcoins, they are up and down wildly, erratically on a daily basis. Okay, invest in what you know. Is it safe for you to go into index funds, ETFs, trackers, or a selection of good quality shares you know of, which are going to give you decent returns, say 8 to 10% a year, guaranteed, although they will go up, they will go down, but it's not going to give you sleepless nights. It's not going to give you any undue stress. So invest in what you know. A classic example was way back in the early 2000s was the tech stock bubble. The tech stock bubble, great house, great fanfare, some great returns, but there was also a lot of money lost, a lot of companies went bust, and a lot of people didn't recover. In fact, the market took 10 years to get back to its original position. So probably apart from the banking crisis in 2008, 2009, was a bubble. People jumped on the bandwagon, made some great returns, but unfortunately, a lot of people lost money because they rode on the wave. Okay, if everyone starts talking about it, probably a fad. Invest in what you know. So as I said, safe index funds, shares, bonds, something that's going to give you a nice return, around about 10% a year. You could just tuck away, leave, and invest for the next 3, 5, 10 years. It will go up and down, but it's not going to give you sleepless nights. It's not going to give you undue stress. Okay, so invest in what you know. The great thing is you are investing. Okay, but do you want the hassle? Do you want the stress? Do you want to be looking at your phone every day? Bitcoin's going up, it's going down, etc. Or the latest fads. Invest in what you know, and then as your investment knowledge improves and get greater, by all means invest in the latest fads. I invest in Bitcoin myself, but it makes up less than 0.01% of my portfolio. My portfolio is mainly in shares, funds, in my ISA, in my pensions, safe, secure. It will go up and down, but it's not giving me sleepless nights. It's companies that have been there a long time, safe, which I can relax, not look at every day, and it's not going to give me sleepless nights. So hopefully a bit of a recap for this week's video. By all means, investment should be fun. Okay, it's a journey, it's a learning curve. Hopefully, the steps we've pointed out today will give you a greater wellness and a greater sense of security towards your financial being, to hopefully improve your finances moving forwards. But remember, investing and personal finance is personal to you. Okay, so good luck moving forwards, and we'll see you again in the next videos.